Making discoveries that are rich with historical significance or scientific applications can be fascinating, but sometimes you just want to find something that will make you a boatload of cash. We'll introduce you to some people who were lucky enough to stumble upon something that made them wealthy in no time. If you're looking for a wealth of great videos, be sure to subscribe to TheRichest, give us a thumbs up, and leave us a comment while you're at it. And be sure to keep an eye out to see if we mention your comment in this video. Jackson Pollock. When an object was owned or created by a beloved artist, fans will do anything to get their hands on it. Just ask one of the many people who allegedly passed around Mozart's skull, although that's a story for another day. Jackson Pollock is a name many of us recognize as an abstract expressionist painter who created many recognizable works in his lifetime. Auction house owner Josh Levine was called out to examine a piece of memorabilia, but he found himself much more interested in the Pollock painting he spotted in the man's garage. Verifying it was a acquire that set Levine back thousands of dollars as he traced its history and even hired a forensic analyst to examine the paint. By confirming the specific type of paint and bonding agents used and matching that with the history of the piece, Levine was able to determine that it was in fact authentic. He plans to sell it at auction and estimates that it's worth approximately $10 to $15 million. Moon dust. Usually, spending almost $1,000 on a bag of dust is what we call a poor financial decision, but not in this case. In 2003, investigators seized this particular bag when searching the garage of a man who was later convicted of dealing in stolen museum artifacts. What looked like an ordinary bag filled with moon dust from NASA's Apollo 11 mission, Neil Armstrong himself filled it during the first manned mission to the moon in July 1969, and the government officials dealing with the bag didn't realize that it was the real deal. They sold it at an auction for $995 to a woman named Nancy Carlson. She sent the bag to NASA for testing, but after realizing what they had, they tried to keep the bag. However, a judge enforced the no backsies rule and the bag was returned to Carlson. After the verdict, Carlson put the bag up for auction once again, where it sold for $1.8 million, or a profit of $1,799,500. Not too shabby. Ferrari. When the Ferrari Daytona went on sale in 1969, it was billed as the fastest car in the world. Made with an aluminum body, it's something that many collectors would do anything to get their hands on, which is why it was quite a shock to find one gathering dust in a barn in Japan. Ferrari historian Marcel Massini flew to Japan in order to inspect the car and discovered that it was even more rare than a standard Ferrari Daytona. Only 1,200 versions of the 365 GTB4 Daytona were created between 1969 and 1973. Of those, only 5 were made as lightweight competition cars. Out of those 5, this one car was created with an aluminum body to be sold as a street model. As far as we know, it is the only remaining car of its kind anywhere in the world. And despite being over 40 years old, it only has about 22,000 miles on the odometer. It'll be up to the new owner to restore it, since it was sold at auction exactly the way that it was discovered in that dusty barn. The new owner paid $2.17 million to get their hands on this one-of-a-kind classic. Before we go on, we wanted to give a shout-out to Avinash Thakur, who said, "Amazing videos. Your videos make me much more aware of what's happening around the world in an exciting way. Thanks a lot." Thank you, Avinash, for being awesome and keeping up with the richest. Gold Rush. If you're bummed out that you missed striking it rich during the California Gold Rush, you now have a second chance. In Northern California, the emergency spillway for the Oroville Dam was damaged by heavy rains and about 188,000 people had to be evacuated. But there was a silver, or should we say gold, lining to this problem. The weeks of heavy rain and runoff also revealed flecks of gold in the river. Along the banks of the Feather and Yuba rivers, which feed the dam, are gold flakes that are being scooped up by eager prospectors. Because gold is so heavy, it is usually only found at the bottoms of lakes and rivers, unless something like this happens, bringing it to the surface for anyone to find. Needless to say, this discovery brought about a surge of people hoping to find their fortune by panning for gold, just like in olden times. It wasn't unusual for people to make hundreds of dollars simply by scooping up the gold flakes and selling them for a profit. There are also people who were lucky enough to find gold nuggets, which are worth even more money. Plate. When most of us look in our grandparents' cupboards, we find our favorite snacks, but a trio of siblings found something much more valuable. After inheriting their grandmother's belongings, they found a blue and white plate stowed away in a cabinet. They believed that it was valuable but had no idea that they had struck it rich with their discovery. The plate originated in China in the 1700s, and there's actually a replica of it displayed in the National Chinese Museum. It bears the mark of Emperor Yongzheng, whose reign is known for its peace and prosperity. Somehow it made its way to South Derbyshire, where it sat in a cupboard for ages until the siblings inherited it. Once word got out about the plate and its value, the family was mobbed with calls from Chinese collectors, and they finally decided to sell the plate at auction. The plate sold to the highest bidder at $309,264. Needless to say, they were shocked with the large sum of money they ended up going home with. Tank. The first shocking thing about this story is that apparently tank collecting is a hobby. It's one that collector Nick Mead is fond of, as he runs a company called Tanks a Lot, which rents out tanks for private events and films. He spotted a tank for sale online and swapped an Abbott self-propelled howitzer and a British Army truck for it. For those of you who aren't well-versed in the value of such vehicles, they're worth an estimated $30,000. Mead found some machine gun ammunition tucked away in the tank and got out his video camera in case he found something else unexpected. Well, unexpected is putting it lightly, since he found 12 pounds of gold bars stashed inside the tank. How much did Mead's $30,000 investment pay off? It's estimated that the gold is worth over $2 million. The man who sold the tank, Joe Hughes, was a good sport about the whole thing and claims he's content with the profit he made from the sale, though he wouldn't object to being treated to a pint. Roman coins. Metal detecting enthusiast Mike Smale was treasure hunting one day with his friends from the Southern Detectorist Club in a field in Bridport, England. An afternoon with your friends is nice, but even better is finding a hoard of ancient silver Roman coins. Smale found a total of 600 coins that experts say were likely buried in a pot for safekeeping at one time. After being buried, a farmer likely shattered the container while plowing and unknowingly scattered the coins for Smale to find. The majority of the coins are dated around 32 BCE and are in remarkably good condition. These were minted during the rule of Mark Antony and feature ships emblazoned on the silver. Other coins show various Greco-Roman deities and early Roman emperors. Sean McDonald, who organized the event, claims that Bridport is a good place for metal detecting, but this is the biggest discovery he's been a part of. How much is the find of a lifetime worth? Experts estimate that the hoard is worth about $265,000. Smale intends to share his wealth with his fellow metal detector friends. Flag. Gary Lawrence collects military antiques, but even he was unprepared for the treasure he discovered when browsing online auctions. He paid $650 for a box of what was described as flag fragments. Being excruciatingly careful not to harm anything in the box, Lawrence and his son Luke soon realized that they had something special on their hands. It took them 3 days to painstakingly unravel the flag parts, but it was worth it when they realized they were looking at a flag from the historic Battle of Waterloo. All put together, the flag is enormous, 7 feet by 7 feet, so it's a bit too big to keep laying around his house. Lawrence contacted the May Berkowitz Textile Conservation Organization, which typically only works for museums and universities. But due to the uniqueness of the flag, they are working to restore it. As soon as that is taken care of, it will be sold at auction to the highest bidder. Experts believe that the flag will easily sell for at least $389,000, if not much more. It looks like Lawrence's $650 investment in a box of flag fragments could easily net him $388,350 in profit. Diamond. If you're more interested in traditional sorts of treasure, wait until you see the massive diamond discovered by Pastor Emmanuel Momo. While exploring the mining sector of Eastern Kono, Africa, he found a 706-carat diamond that's about the size of a hockey puck. It's the second largest diamond ever to be found in the country, and Momo was kind enough to hand it over to the government. Many others may have been tempted to smuggle it out of the country, but don't worry, Momo is still entitled to a share of the profits. Diamond prospectors are common in the region, but it's extremely rare that one finds something so substantial. Momo had simply been using his bare hands and a sieve to sift through sediment in a riverbed. In terms of diamonds worldwide, this one is in the top 20 ever found when it comes to size. It's being called the Peace Diamond, and it will soon be going up for auction. Experts estimate its value at $50 million, so although Momo is only getting a cut of the profits, it will undoubtedly be a hefty one. Gold coins. In 1983, a couple came to own an antique piano, which they kept for 33 years until they decided to downsize. Generously, they decided to donate the piano to Bishop's Castle Community College, although we're guessing they now wish they'd kept it. The college hired piano technician Martin Backhouse to fix up the antique piano, and he found that the keys weren't responding to touch properly. When he took the keys out, he discovered that they were hiding a cache consisting of a leather drawstring purse and 7 cloth packets. After removing them, he sliced one open and was shocked when gold coins tumbled out. The coins were from the reign of Queen Victoria and made up about 13 pounds of gold bullion. A great effort was made to find out why the coins were hidden inside the piano and who put them there, but they were unable to come to any satisfactory conclusions. Because the piano is now owned by the school, the college and the piano technician will split the profits under the United Kingdom's Treasure Act of 1996. It's estimated that the treasure trove is worth up to $640,000. When it comes to discoveries, would you rather stumble upon something of historical significance or one that would guarantee a big payday? Let us know your choice in the comment section, and be sure to like and subscribe for more amazing content from The Richest. Be sure to stick around for the next video, and we'll see you next time.